All right, Brock, the Macomb County industrial market update, right? So tell me, is industrial space in Macomb County, what's going on with it in terms of demand and activity?
Macomb County remains the manufacturing logistics hub in all of Michigan, driven by automotive, aerospace, defense industries, warehousing, manufacturing. So it's
Distribution, with having Canada right there and the border right there. So,
absolutely.
Are we seeing high vacancy rates in Macomb? I mean, based on what you just said, I'd imagine the vacancy rates are like super low, right?
Yeah, very low. We're around 4% right now in all of Macomb County, and that's because of the increase in the demand for warehouse and storage.
So if we are less than 4% or less in terms of total vacancy, I'd imagine then lease rates are got to be at like an all-time high.
Yeah, we're actually seeing a 5 to 10% increase year over year in leasing rates right now.
That's incredible. So we're seeing rising lease rates, and we know that building new developments, whether it's Macomb County or really anywhere, building construction, I think we know is going for what, 150 a foot if you want to take it from ground to roughly.
Right now, building really doesn't make much sense unless you're constructing something 50, 75,000 square feet or higher.
Got it.
We're really small, mid-size. You're really not seeing much construction right now. It doesn't really make sense. But yeah, we're seeing around $140 and $150 per square foot to build still. So it really doesn't make much sense unless you're going big.
Yeah, you've got to be a big owner-operator that's probably doing that, not just purely on an investment perspective, which as a result of the building costs is driving up that lease rates, low vacancies, right? All of those things.
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing I think that people underestimate about Macomb is how accessible it is, right? You've got 94, you've got 53, you've got 75 that's not far off of there, you got 59 running through the middle of it, and that's part of what's driving all of that demand. So tell me more. What's going on in February and January? Are we seeing a lot of activity in Macomb County for an industrial?
January and February was a little bit slow. We saw 12 total closed sales that were on market. Another couple dozen off market. About a dozen are under contract or pending still. But we are seeing a huge uptick in activity and transactions leading into the spring. So that's something to be excited about for sure.
I think that's pretty typical every January, February, right? Because a lot of those 1031 exchanges want to get in before the year's over, so they can get that on that year's taxes, right? So that's naturally going to leave, the non-1031 exchanges into January and February, which is just less of the market, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I just think it's important for anyone who wants an opinion of value, just reach out. We're happy to provide that.
Yeah, I'd love to come out. We'll meet you at the property. We'll shake your hand, give you our credentials. We will give you a no obligation free assessment, leave you with a nice brochure, with a nice package. That way, with these market conditions ever changing, you know where you stand in the market currently from a value standpoint. So I think that's something
good for estate planning. It's good for taxes. It's good for all that stuff.
Absolutely,
right? So,
and we don't mind taking a look at your leases and letting you know where you're at. For leases, we can bring you up to market, let you know exactly where we're at in your area for your specific building as well. So.
I mean, we've seen that, right? We've seen leases that are currently 30, 40, 50% below market
Way
value,
low.
right?
Oh,
and the owners are just used to having a great tenant. And there is something to be said for a great tenant, but if you're getting half the rent, maybe that tenant can start to, work their way at least closer to market.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And that's why there's a fine line between, some of these long-term tenants and some of the shorter 1 to 3 year tenants. Is a lot of the longer tenants are way under market rent right now. So that's something that we're doing to add value to these owners is bringing them up to speed to where they need to be or should be based on current leases around them.
Yeah, it's a huge value add. Imagine if you can get $3 more a square foot times your 25,000 square foot building, right? I mean, massive NOI, and then they're getting a multiple off of that, right? So it's a huge difference in valuation for the building. Right?
Yeah, and most owners we've talked to and met lately, they are significantly undervalued when it comes to that lease number. So
yeah, it's wild. It blows as an investor, my heart goes out to them.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Well, hey, that's
they're leaving so much money on the table. It's crazy.
That's where we come in, and we're here to help.
Yeah,
so.
that's where we can add a ton of value, right?
So absolutely.
All right, now let's transition a little bit. What do we see in terms of geopolitical wins, or wins? Not wins, but wins. Do we see with the new administration, whether you're for it or against it, what do we see happening as a result of that?
So with the tariffs, with deglobalization, that's going to bring significant increase in demand in specifically Michigan area, Macomb County as well. Mexico, Canada, they're going to start bringing some of those manufacturers and warehousing back to America. Apple just announced a $5 billion investment. Michigan's one of the states that they actually chose to invest in. So there's just a lot of opportunity going on right now and a lot of growth. Private equity groups and institutions we've talked to a lot of lately, they are very active. They're really looking forward to investing and deploying a lot of capital into this exact market that we're in right now. So just a lot of exciting things going on right now.
So if I hear you correctly, it sounds like literally it's never been better to own industrial property in Macomb if you want to exit. Right?
Yeah,
you're at an all-time high.
We're in a seller's market. Yeah. These institutions and investment groups and private equity groups are paying above and beyond what we see as market value.
Because that's still below. They can't build it for that cheap.
You can't build it for that cheap. Businesses are growing. They're looking for bigger buildings. Investors are looking to deploy capital. They want to be here. So yeah, this is a seller's market. There's never been a better time in the history of commercial real estate to sell your building.
So if you want to get on our newsletter, just reach out, just message us. And if you want a free opinion of value, again, just message us. Happy to come by, get you that so you can do whatever you need to do with it. So if you have any questions, just give us a call, or anything that you need, just reach out. Appreciate it.